Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. A year ago, Darrell Brooks drove a car through a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin. 6 people were killed, dozens were injured. Everyone present will live with the images of a holiday celebration turned deadly. Brooks was a career criminal on yet another crime spree that day. Now he's in court, continuing to victimize innocent people and trying to make a mockery of our legal system. It's been said that if you have the facts, pound the facts. If you have the law, pound the law. If you don't have either, pound the table. Darrell Brooks is pounding the table.
I don't care what you're doing or not doing. You're not being fair. You're being biased.
Judge, do you hold the full judicial power of the state, or is this the military
power?
power?
Can you please take the jury out?
Can you testify if the state of Wisconsin is a living human being or an entity?
I noticed that one of the jurors, she flipped me off coming in to my initial appearance and coming out.
I'm not consenting to anything you say until you can answer the questions that I'm asking.
I'm not answering your
I'm not
questions.
consenting or agreeing to anything that you say.
He's representing himself and proving once again why that is such a terrible idea. Brooks isn't a lawyer, he's a thug with nothing to lose. To the victims reliving this nightmare, to those who lost loved ones, to those being berated in court, do not lose hope. Darrell Brooks will be convicted. He won't have the last word. He'll be led away from that courtroom in handcuffs and leg irons to spend the rest of his life in prison. That's how this will end. We just have to survive his conduct to get to the end. Joining us now is criminal defense attorney, former homicide detective, and Fox News contributor Ted Williams. Mr. Williams, it is so nice to have you. Look, I understand that his conduct frustrates our viewers. I've gotten a lot of texts and emails from people very frustrated, but he represents himself. So if the judge were to kick him out of the courtroom, there's no lawyer present. Would that be an issue on appeal? I mean, the judge is in a tough spot.
Well, the judge, Trey, you're absolutely right. The judge is in a very tough spot. What she's trying to do is to maintain order in her courtroom and yet give this man a fair trial. And the thing about it is, and you know it, Trey, I've been here long before, and that is I've gone against pro se litigants, and they are some of the worst people to actually advocate against. Now, what is happening here, though, Trey, is that not only should this man be on trial, but the system in Waukesha should be on trial. The question that the viewers should ask is, why is this man in court now? And I'll tell you why he's in court, because 2 weeks before, he mowed down 6 people and killed them. 2 weeks before that, he had mowed down his girlfriend, and he was let out on a $1,000 cash bond. This is what they thought. And then when they went to the DA and presented this after he had killed 6 people, all the DA could say is, well, this was human error. Human error, my butt. 6 people are dead. And this clown is on trial representing himself. And as you've said, and I wholeheartedly agree, if the jury is out over 30 minutes, I'm going to be surprised. This man certainly will be found guilty.
Well, Ted, you raise an interesting point, which is I've been stunned at the number of people who have contacted me and said he must be incompetent, he must be insane. No, he's a typical defendant. We see this all the time. It's just not on television. Is there any danger a jury is going to say, well, you know, I know he did it, but he didn't have a lawyer. I mean, juries may not know why he doesn't have a lawyer. He chose not to have one. Is there any danger a jury may misinterpret this and do something crazy?
Trey, no, I absolutely in this case do not see that happening. I see this man going down. I see this man being convicted. The evidence is overwhelming in this case. I can tell you, I hesitate just slightly because I thought the Parkland shooter in Florida was going to get the death penalty. And the sad problem here in Wisconsin is that they don't have the death penalty, because if they had the death penalty, I think he would certainly be looking at the death penalty under the circumstances of this case. He took that vehicle and he intentionally ran into that crowd and he killed those people. And we can't get around that. He can't get around it. And I don't think any jury in Waukesha is going to let him get around it. The main thing for the judge to do is to give him a fair trial, so on appeal she will not be reversed.
Well, you know what, Ted? I could not agree with you more. We should never be watching this spectacle, because he never should have been out of jail to do this at a Christmas parade. He is a Lifetime Achievement Award winner in the criminal justice system, and how in the world he got out in Wisconsin, you're going to have to come back on another time and we can sort all that out. Until then, I wish I'd been able to prosecute some of your cases, or else try a few right beside you, Ted. Come back and see us sometime, all right?
My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.